So the name of our video is, what do the cells do? Okay, so first we're starting with the nucleolus, and this is comprised of nucleic acids and proteins, and is responsible for the transcription and assembly of ribonucleic acid, which is a major component in ribosomes, which manufacture proteins for use by the rest of the cell. So City Hall can be represented by the nucleolus because it is like the government for the city, is the location of the mayor and the city councils. So City Hall acts as protection for the city officials, just like the nucleus protects the nucleus.
The nucleus regulates all cell activity. This is also where DNA is stored to contain information for the protection of proteins. DNA information is also used to tell a cell what order the amino acids go in. Within the manufacture of proteins are used. 1. Replication allows the nucleus to make exact copies of DNA. 2. Transcription allows the cell to make RNA working copies of its DNA. And 3. In translation, the messenger RNA is used to line up amino acids to a protein molecule. The nucleus can be related to the judicial center because the judicial center contains all the information to allow our city to work in an orderly fashion without chaos, and is the control center of Springfield, just like the DNA in a nucleus.
Okay, so smooth endoplasmic reticulum lacks ribosomes, therefore making it have a smooth appearance. Smooth ER is also involved in the synthesis of most lipids that make up the cell membrane. It also manufactures and stores carbohydrates and lipids. So the bank can be related to smooth ER because it stores money just like smooth ER stores carbohydrates and lipids. So smooth ER also makes lipids, so it can be related to interest. When you keep money in a bank over time, you will make more money just like smooth ER makes more lipids.
I'm going to take these out of here. Rough endoplasmic reticulum is an organelle that essentially acts as a packaging system and usually works close with the Golgi apparatus and ribosomes. Rough ER also transports proteins to regions of the cell where they are needed, or to the Golgi apparatus from which they may be exported from the cell. The library is an analogy to rough ER because it contains books that are transported and exported out into the city to allow individuals to gain knowledge in places that it is needed, just like rough ER transports proteins to places in the cell where it is most needed.
Okay, so the Golgi apparatus acts to process and package macromolecules such as proteins and lipids that are synthesized by the cell. The major functions are modifying, sorting, and packaging of proteins for secretion. It is also involved in the transport of lipids around the cell and the creation of lysosomes. So the Golgi apparatus can be represented by the post office because the post office sorts and packages letters that will be distributed and transported throughout the community, just like what the Golgi apparatus does for the proteins and lipids.
Mitochondria are also known as the powerhouses of cells. They are organelles that act as a digestive system that takes in nutrients, breaks them down, and creates energy for the cell, which is called cellular respiration. The power plant in Springfield represents mitochondria because without energy the cell wouldn't survive, and in a city energy is needed to sustain life. It's needed for electricity and heating. So without the function of energy, the cell would not be able to operate much like a city, because the cell will have organelles that need energy just like buildings in a city.
Okay, so chloroplasts is found in plant cells for the production of photosynthesis. They are considered the food producers of the cell. So plant cells use chloroplasts to work to convert the energy of sun into sugars. They also create oxygen, which is essential to all humans to sustain life. So Mordecai's would serve to represent chloroplasts because it is one of the main restaurants in town that produces some good food for the people, such as how chloroplast produces food for the cell. And by human digestion of the food, it allows them to then produce energy needed, just like chloroplast production of energy.
Vacuoles help with storage in cells. Vacuoles might store food or any variety of nutrients a cell might need to survive. They could even store waste products, so the rest of the cell is protected from contamination. Eventually, those waste products will be sent out of the cell. The water tower is related to vacuoles because vacuoles, especially in plant cells, work towards the storage of water just like the water tower stores water in case of emergencies. Vacuoles store water for means of survival.
Okay, so lysosomes hold enzymes that were created by the cell. So the purpose of lysosomes is to digest things. These can be used to digest food or break down the cell when it dies. So our recycling center is that of a lysosome because it breaks up and removes waste from our community to protect from waste buildup that would eventually cause problems in society. So it acts like a lysosome within functions, since lysosomes digest and clean up to get rid of organelles that are not useful to the cell anymore.
Cytoskeleton are microfilaments and microtubules combined to form the cytoskeleton of the cell. The cytoskeleton provides structure and connects to every organelle and every part of the cell membrane. Also, the movement of the cell membrane, organelles, and cytoplasm is all related to the tubules and filaments. The cytoskeleton is represented by the sheriff's office because the cytoskeleton helps support the cell and helps to protect it, while the sheriff's office helps protect the city and maintain the structure and balance within it.
So centrioles are used to help the cell when it comes time to divide. They are put to work in both processes of mitosis and meiosis. They will usually be found near the nucleus but cannot be seen when the cell is dividing. So the streets of Springfield are used to represent centrioles because centrioles are used to maintain organization within the cell, just like streets maintain organization to decrease traffic accidents.
Let me stop. I gotta yield.
The cell membrane regulates the entering and exiting to maintain internal balance. It also protects the inner cell from damage and helps the cell to absorb molecules by engulfing them. It consists of a lipid bilayer with embedded proteins. The plasma membrane can be compared to the city borders of Springfield because the borders surround the city and regulate what enter and leave the city, just like a cell membrane. This video was made by